Case Study 0032, Sharknado 2, with artist Dustin Mertz. Finn and April are on their way to New York City until a Category 7 hurricane spawns heavy rain, storm surges, and deadly sharknadoes. Okay. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I am doing great today, I would say.
That's good to hear.
I was really happy when you asked me to do this episode.
I feel like this episode was made for you, so I was happy to offer it to you.
I didn't disclose this to you at the time, I don't think, but I kind of wanted to make a yearly holiday for me and the ex-wife out of watching the Sharknado movies when they premiere and kind of like make a big deal about it.
Sure, sure.
So we had watched the first Sharknado in its original running. I don't know if it was the night that it came out, but there was a night when we were like, fuck it, let's watch Sharknado. It's going to be so stupid.
Absolutely.
And then we kind of both fucking loved it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah. So when the second one was coming out, you know, obviously the advertising budget was pretty big.
I think the budget really skyrocketed on this movie.
Absolutely. I mean, but you could still see where they cut corners. But
I mean, they absolutely cut corners, but they got some really great cameos.
Yes.
Because everyone was like, this is goofy as shit. Let's get in here immediately.
I should have looked up a list of the cameos, but there were some that I looked up because I was like, this guy has got to be somebody to have a speaking part in the movie.
Sure. But no.
Yeah.
Like Will Wheaton, it kept saying, Will Wheaton's in this movie. Will Wheaton's in this movie. And I was like, where is he? Where is he? Oh, he just looks over a seat and gets his head chomped off immediately.
Yes.
No.
Perez Hilton was in it.
Yeah, but he had lines. He was
did
like,
have lines.
What the fuck? Where's this train?
But I didn't catch him because I forgot who Paris Hilton was.
Oh, you mean Perez?
Perez. Who can forget Paris?
He was standing right next to Jared from Subway.
Oh, shit. That's where he was. Yeah. Okay, that's a whole fucking thing that I was thinking this whole movie. I got a couple of points on that, and we'll get to them.
Yes, absolutely. Let's dig in.
Oh, man. So, well, just to quickly finish the story, the first time I saw Sharknado 2 was in my attempt to make it an annual holiday in my marriage.
And how did that
work out? Why didn't that work out?
Oh, ouch.
I mean, you know, she blamed my wrestling fandom, but really, like,
we all know it's Sharknado.
You know, it wasn't my only boneheaded interest that I kept around the house.
I'm uncomfortable now.
Yeah, well, that's so I like to kick things off with you, Tressa.
Thank you.
You're a tough one to crack, so.
I'm really not. I just like people to think that. How do you feel in comparison to the first one?
There was no chill in this movie.
None. Absolutely not a bit of chill.
No chill. The beginning of the first one, because I did rewatch it a couple weeks ago.
Sorry.
I mean, when I say I rewatched it, I like was dicking around on my phone the whole goddamn time or whatever.
But you watched it like 20 times. That's cool. I get it.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's my steez.
You have that reputation now. I'm sorry.
Other than the very opening of the first one, it takes a detour into some really, the shit that doesn't make any sense in the movie.
Yeah, no.
After that, which I like really fucking barely looked at rewatching it.
Sure.
I was like, oh man, like this movie's almost boring at the beginning. The first Sharknado, it's so tranquil and like weird, and the comedy doesn't land, and like you're like, who the fuck are these people?
It is a regular boring ass asylum movie.
Yeah.
Except there's a Sharknado.
And Ian Ziering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nope, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tara Reid.
And well, yeah. I mean, figure that we forgot Tara Reid because her non-presence is so non-present that it's so memorable.
I need to get this out of the way. I am so very much a feminist and rah, all women. I do not care for Tara Reid. I just need to get that out of the way. Okay.
You know, you can be a feminist and still know when somebody is the worst fucking actress that you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
I mean, I knew she was bad, but it's like she was trying to be bad at this point. Not like I'm trying to be campy, I'm trying to not try.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as if she was reading the lines for the first time every time.
Yep.
And maybe she was.
I mean,
paycheck.
Be. I remember years ago,
She's not there to be good.
No. She was on Scrubs for a minute, and they were asking her hey, how was Tara? It's some extra bullshit. They're hey, how was Tara Reid to work with? And they were she fucking sucked. She smelled so bad. She was so rude. She was the worst. And I was oh shit, they said that in a fucking interview.
Were they playing it straight?
Oh yeah.
They were.
No, they were not joking. They were just this. She was not great. She sucked.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think about that every time I see her. Maybe we should talk about it now.
Yeah. I mean, we've done the foreplay. Let's Sharknado.
We start off in an airplane, and the first shot is Kelly Osbourne.
Yeah, we start with a cameo.
Opening a Coors Light.
Yeah.
So it's
we start with product placement.
It feels
the third narrator.
Coors Light, yeah. It feels gross off the bat. And I was okay, Coors Light. Does Coors Light have asylum money? I
think it's the other way around. I think the first Sharknado was so popular and such a minor cultural phenomenon.
Oh, absolutely.
That for the next movie, they knew they were going to have the world by the balls.
The world that Coors Light runs by the balls.
And the reason why this movie looks so much better than the first one is all that ad spending and product placement.
Oh my God,
right?
so fucking much.
Yeah, so I think we know that Asylum has no money to do anything.
No.
You've really changed the way that I think about Asylum films.
You're welcome.
I love that it's so on a hope and a dream.
They're just going and doing it. They're scrappy.
The little studio that can rip everything off and make a profit.
I love them so much.
Fucking wonderful.
We're going down the airplane, and Tara Reid's got her wedding ring on. Full close up. Are they back together?
Uh-oh.
But they don't talk about getting or being back together until the last minute of the movie. What? Why?
It seems very up in the air. It's tentative as fuck.
But showing the ring, just keep it in your pocket. Shut up. Whatever. I don't understand people in general or how things work. So.
Well, okay. So there is a reason, and I don't want to skip ahead because it's if we were fast forwarding the movie, it'd be about 4 minutes. And I feel like there's a lot to talk about in between.
We'll just get there. Okay. Because we still have to talk about how April wrote a book about how to survive
the
Sharknado, and it looks like a Max Brooks book of how to survive a zombie apocalypse or something.
Yes, exactly. And that's the first thing I thought of was that book.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, obvious. Maybe nod to it even.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
if not, they're just assholes.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way nobody that writes Sharknado movies didn't read that book, right?
100%. I fully agree. And Kelly Osbourne is the worst flight attendant. And she's oh my God, you guys, I love you so much. Sir, will you sign this book that your wife wrote?
Yes.
And he was bitch, I didn't write that book.
Yeah.
Make her sign it. I hated it.
Yeah. I mean, how insulting.
I mean.
And her name's on the fucking front cover.
To be fair, I would never think that Tara Reid could write a book.
No. And that's definitely some shit I wrote in my notes.
However.
I think my first note is about that, actually.
However, her name was on the book.
And you don't go to her husband and be like, hey, good job that your wife did that. You must be a good husband. What was that?
I mean, we don't know what was said in the book. Maybe it was like a 300-page ode to Finn. But my first note was Tara Reid is an author now and incredibly insensitive towards Finn's PTSD.
Oh my God, 100%.
She's like, why can't you just be the hero?
Why can't you be happy for how famous I am now?
Seriously.
And he's like, bitch, all my friends are dead.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, sorry. It's like, no, I'm sorry. No. Finn, you're cool. Don't apologize for being pissed.
No. You fucking saved LA from a Sharknado.
In this scene, Kelly Osbourne is like gushing and they're like, hey, we're having a book signing. Why don't you go to this book signing? And Kelly Osbourne's like, are you fucking serious? Holy fucking shit, you let me go to your book signing? Like, they're not asking you to go to their hotel room. They just said, go to my book signing.
Which anybody within a reasonable distance of a Barnes & Noble can do.
Yes, absolutely.
I've
and
gone
even
to
if you're
several.
not, you can travel to it.
I saw the fucking kids in the hall at a Barnes & Noble.
I saw D.B. Jones at a book signing, so
Nice.
yes.
I could date myself and say that I also saw Douglas Copeland twice.
It's the twice that gets me. So they're like, can't wait to get in New York. And this line is just for me, this appreciation. Finn says, I just want to focus on a hot slice of New York pizza, which was like, I've been to New York a few times. It's fine, whatever. Not a fan. I've never had a hot slice of pizza in New York. I've had so many lukewarm slices of pizza in New York, but I'm going to call bullshit on that line. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to have to take your word for it because despite growing up in Buffalo, New York, I've never been in New York City.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so all of my knowledge of New York City is
from this movie?
No, but the source material.
Tara Reid?
Yeah. Let's talk about the fact, the reveal, even. They didn't ever mention that Finn was a native New Yorker.
Oh, no.
In the first movie, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
no. They were like, well, what are we going to do for the second Sharknado? We're going to put it in New York.
He's going home.
And so why are we doing that? Oh, because Finn is actually from there and he ran the block. And they really try to drive that home in that plane sequence as well.
Yeah. Throughout the whole friggin' movie.
Yeah, suddenly you get more of Finn's backstory than you ever got in the first movie.
Yeah, aside from the surfer stuff.
Yeah. But that's like the middle story. He moved to fucking LA after living in New York and fucking running the goddamn block. He was like the most respected dude in the neighborhood.
Which I call bullshit. But also...
in the white neighborhood.
When did he go to the Marines in this timeline? Where are you, Finn?
Yeah.
Because as we all know, he is prepared for everything because he was a Marine.
He was a Marine. Maybe he thinks that being a Marine just means that you swam in the ocean.
He doesn't realize it's a branch of the military.
Yeah, he has no idea. He's the most clueless dude ever, except about Sharknadoes.
He knows a lot about them, though.
Fucking thank God for Sharknadoes because Finn has a reason to live.
So we're still in the airplane.
Yeah, we're still in the goddamn airplane.
Oh my God. This opening sequence was fucking insane, and I will say perfect for this movie.
Oh my God.
It was like from beginning of the first shot to the end when he lands, it's just like everything is what it should be.
Yes.
So now he looks out the window and he has his Twilight Zone Shatner moment where he's like, there's something on the wing of the plane. And I was like, I get what you're doing, and I'm going to let it slide. I'll just let it slide because all of the nods, all the references are so heavy-handed that I'm like, I just wish it was a little veiled. Just a little bit.
Sure.
But also, I really like fine art, so...
I watched it on Friday night really high.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not taking any notes, strictly for pleasure. And the opening sequence, like, I made sure to fucking do some rips before it started, you know? And the opening sequence had me fucking giddy.
It was so fucking good.
It establishes very early on sharks eat heads.
A lot. It's
A
like their
lot.
favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it's like swallowing a coconut, right? Like,
What? Yeah,
I
everyone
don't know.
loves to do that.
yeah. I have no idea.
Before I talk any more about this movie, this is the movie that made me say I don't ever want to talk about the Sharknado movies because they're so fucking goofy. But at the same fucking time, I fucking loved this movie. It was fun as hell.
It's so fun.
I need to establish that because I'm going to fucking rip it apart.
All right, let's go.
All
Let's
right.
fucking do it.
So he sees he sees something on the wing and then he's like, I need to blot my face with water, as all people do when they're stressed out. Every human on earth does that.
I think I know where this is going, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay. So he's like, goes to the airplane bathroom. He goes in there. And then a second later, a woman is at the door and she's like knocking on the door and like, what the fuck?
Karen of the fucking plane.
Why are you taking so long? I just got here. It was weird. And he finally is like, fine, I'll fucking leave, whatever. And she gets in and she sniffs the fucking bathroom.
Oh my God.
Dude.
I didn't pick that up the first time I watched
Dude.
it. I think I was like, just, you know,
Mm-hmm.
still in anticipation mode. And like, I was like, I can't wait for shit to happen. And so I missed some
Unintended.
finer details. And when I watched it this morning, that's the first thing I fucking noticed. And I was like, oh my God, the face she gives is like just sniffing the air. And then she goes in there to take a fucking dump.
He was in there for like a second. I hated that woman. I'm glad she got her head torn off by a shark.
Eventually. She was one of the last, I think, in that sequence to get her head torn off by a shark. There was a lot of things going on. There was the nod to airplane food and never getting the fish in the cockpit.
And you know why that was, right? Because that pilot was from the movie Airplane where that happened.
Fuck.
You didn't know that? Dude,
No.
who the fuck are you?
I'm telling you, there are cameos that I missed in this. And
Captain Bob Wilson was from
fuck.
Airplane, the movie where everyone got sick from the fish, and it was a
course.
comedy and one of the best 80s comedies.
I mean, I love
in the
Airplane.
world.
I just wasn't
mean-
looking for it, oddly enough.
How do you miss that?
It happened so
face?
early in the movie, and we already had Kelly Osbourne.
I know. You're like, there can't possibly be
Yeah.
another one.
No, because you don't expect them to come that fast and furious, but they do.
They do, just like cars in that movie, Fast and Furious.
Or Fast and Furious, which I believe might be an Asylum film.
Yeah. It's a mockbuster, but with furries. I get it. Yeah.
It's great.
Now he goes back to his seat, and the thing's on the wing again, and everyone's like, "Shut up! You're stupid and dumb." And he's like, I'm sorry."
And the air marshal steps in,
Yeah, and he's like, "No, just kidding."
who I thought was going to be a major character in the movie, but you
Nah.
never see him again.
I feel like the people of color in this movie did not get a fair shake. They
Fuck no.
all fucking died either immediately or horribly.
Yes.
And the white
Or
people,
they're Italian, and we'll get to that.
the sharks knock the engine out.
Well, the one goes through the engine.
Yeah,
And still, I think only Finn saw that.
I don't think anyone saw that. I think we saw that.
Maybe.
And it was just like an explosion.
Yeah.
And then the pilots were like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
And there's those two dumb kids that are like,
I think it was a bird.
a bat.
No, it's a bird.
Bird.
You guys, shut up.
They don't know what a fish looks like.
No, because fish look like birds if you look at them real close. And then
Scales, feathers, same fucking thing. Fins,
You're wrong.
wings, same fucking difference. Fly through the air, fly through the water.
they're going through all this crazy turbulence because their engine's out and there's sharks in the air and the plane is going nuts. A huge hole has been ripped out of the airplane. People have been shot out of the airplane.
What happened to this airplane was fantastic to
Fantastic
me. Like, I
as
loved
in
everything they did
impossible.
with it. Yes. They took the idea of a fucking plane and deconstructed it over the course of 5 minutes.
And physics, yes.
Yeah.
And Kelly Osbourne is walking down the aisle and she's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay to everyone. And she's actually walking down the aisle. If there was a hole ripped through the plane, she would not be able to do that. And also, it's not going to be okay. Shut the fuck up. And I'm so glad that a shark ate her fucking head off.
Yes. I'm also going to say this really quick. How did any of this fucking happen, and why was everybody so goddamn chill? Air traffic controllers know that this shit is happening because scientists are monitoring it.
Bro.
All around the fucking, globe.
Bro. What the fuck is going on with the air traffic controllers?
And you'd think they'd find out the fucking science behind the Sharknado after it happened in LA, but maybe I feel like they kind of establish early on that there are Sharknado doubters or that it's half been swept under the rug.
Sure. There's anti-Sharknado-ers or whatever. Yeah. There's got to be because it's Earth and we all suck. But also, where the fuck? What happened to the air traffic controllers? At first they were like, hey, what's going on? And they tell them, and that's the last we hear from air traffic control. Mm-hmm. The last. And the captain was like, what should we tell them? Fucking tell them what's happening. Why are you asking what to ask? I mean, what?
There's a weather pattern with fucking sharks swirling around.
Do you not see this? You not?
Yeah.
It's on the Today Show the next day. I mean.
And even they seem late to the game.
Sharks are crashing into the cockpit's windows, and one smashes the window and I guess kind of sucks the co-pilot out. And then they both got sucked out. They're both dead. Both captains, co-pilot, done. They're
quickly gone. The pilot was trying to save the co-captain for a hot minute or whatever.
And then it just did not work out.
Yeah.
And this is another thing. Okay, we go back to the cabin. Every plane disaster movie, which has probably been 2 so far, that I've seen from Asylum, napkins are going crazy in the cockpit. They're everywhere. They're flying. Why are there so many napkins everywhere? Finn is like, I see something in the cockpit. I'm going to see what's going on. The walk he does to the cockpit. And then April follows behind him. It's like, oh, we are struggling so hard to get to the cockpit. And it's goofy as hell.
I love the acting in the plane sequence by everybody involved because they are trying so hard to look distressed.
Yes,
and nothing is moving.
Yes, it's a lot of moving in your seat to appear to be in turbulence.
They are acting at the budget that they are paid within. They are definitely working within. Ian Ziering is giving his 300,000 the most he can give it.
He has seen what Sharknado can do, and he is like, I am never going to back down from a role ever again.
Fuck no, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you hitch your fucking ride to Sharknado?
That's what I'm saying. Fucking, he's smart. Good for him.
Him and Tara Reid. I mean, anybody who doesn't get invited to the first dance and stick around for the second one, you're a fucking idiot if you don't sign a contract for 8 goddamn movies.
Exactly. He didn't want to do the first one, and once he saw how it happened, he was like, no, I'm on board forever.
I am Finn. God damn it.
I'm changing my name legally to this stupid ass pun. Let's do this.
Finn McShark. That's me now.
Finn McFishy guy.
I got a tramp stamp of the Sharknado logo, and they gave me an extra few thou.
All right, so Finn's in the cockpit now, and he's calling to air traffic control, and they are fully ignoring him. He's like, here's what I'm doing. Everyone's dead. I'm going to land the plane. Silence.
What would have been great is if it came up and the little CB that he was talking on had a disconnected cord. Because that's what it sounded like.
Yes.
You know? There was no reason for him to talk. Maybe he was trying, but there was no resolution from it. It was an unnecessary detail.
No.
I mean, this movie's full of unnecessary details.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
In some regard.
But as he's doing this, Tara Reid is doing her slow motion walk to the cockpit, and it made me laugh so hard because she's like, Finn! In the grossest, worst voice ever. That was one take, right?
Her looks and voices in this movie, they are
God.
interesting decisions, man.
To say the fucking least.
They're really fucking curious.
So she gets stopped because the door flew off or something, and the air marshal is like trying to save her, and he's like, "Here, take my gun." As I have proposed before, a gun ain't gonna help shit.
He threw her the gun. I had the same thought.
Right.
I was like, but also, as previously established in the first Sharknado,
Yes.
a gun fucks sharks up.
Absolutely, but it has no reason to.
No, it doesn't. It has absolutely zero fucking reason to.
And that's why she got her fucking arm chomped off. Sorry.
I'm glad you just dropped that in casually. I was hoping for a slow build, but again, we are almost an hour into this podcast, and we are only just talking about the first 5 minutes.
It was really good first 5 minutes.
So fucking good. She gets her fucking arm chopped off. She is hanging from a goddamn plane door. A plane that Finn is fucking flying somehow.
Yeah.
Because
And
he was a Marine.
He's gonna land it.
He's gonna fucking land the goddamn thing, and he is pulling this shit off. But she is hanging on for dear life. She had some sort of belt that I don't think is a normal part of a plane door.
I don't even remember seeing that. I was just like, bullshit.
I was trying to
bullshit. She's dead.
Figure out how she was hanging on the entire scene this time. I did not reach a final conclusion, nor did I rewind it.
She 100% would have been dead. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, and severely bruised as a corpse.
Oh my god, yes. And she, dude.
Yeah.
They finally get into the hospital. Like, blah, blah, blah. They're in the hospital.
Billy Ray Cyrus, dickhead doctor.
Oh my god. But when they're in the hospital, she's like, Finn, I swear, this shark. I know this shark.
I know.
And he's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
She's like, you know what? I'm the one with PTSD now.
Let's trade.
I know your shit was bullshit when we were on the plane, but here we are now, and I have real issues.
Please.
Scarred shark.
I mean, she lost a hand, so it's fair.
But so dickhead doctor Billy Ray Cyrus tells Finn that she might be able to do some shit regular again someday. In the nicest
That's pretty
way
much
possible.
exactly what he said.
Yeah.
No.
I picked that up the first viewing, and I was like, he's a fucking dick of a doctor. And then I was like, oh, it's Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
And then the second time I was like, maybe he was a little bit softer than I thought, but he still contains the same message that she's going to be a fucking invalid, and maybe she'll be able to do some shit okay at some point.
I mean, that was the scene where I knew, without a doubt, she would have a prosthetic saw on her hand at some point.
I'm going to go ahead and call Billy Ray Cyrus a Sharknabalist.
Oh! Damn. That's accurate.
And I'm going to call a lot of people that in this movie.
I'm glad it's been established. There's a shot where Finn is getting interviewed by press outside the hospital. And he's like, shut up, I hate you guys. Oh, the fame's dumb. And in the background with all the reporters is Andy Dick, and he's just kind of standing there, and he's like,
yeah.
I don't even know what he says. It's just like, I don't think so, dude. Like, he says something very Andy Dick is what he does.
What was the roll call for the celebrity appearances in this movie? Because Andy Dick got there really late. Yeah. And
you get one line and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to be a cop? Like, that's not me. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be the gayest cop you've ever seen.
Wow. Like Village People gay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like offensively, right? Like,
yes, absolutely.
Like you could have played it tough and then just been like, I'm a gay cop.
No, but he has to be a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because he's Andy Dick.
He's reached Zen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He's neither here nor there.
No. He's everywhere. Like that movie, Lucy. I didn't expect that to come out of my mouth, but I love that stupid ass movie.
I don't know. I saw a billboard on the way here that said, "You sick of STDs?" And I was like,
No.
whoa, who is this for?
Why would I? Oh, yeah. It
And
is.
he was like,
Yeah.
God damn it, another STD. I mean, that's how Andy Dick is.
That's who the billboard's for.
That one guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he could come up with the money.
For penicillin?
No, take down the billboard and I'll.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yes. And also his like Coke delusionals, you know?
Right.
It's in character.
Mm-hmm. They're in New York. Besides going for a book signing, they're there to visit his family because he's so very much from New York.
Which you forget super easily because, like, the first 5 minutes were so. It was such a whiz bang affair.
Okay, we're back in the hospital, and April's like, she says to Finn out of nowhere after talking about sharks and horrible tragedy, she's like, why did you marry me? We're going to do this right now?
And, you know, my first thought was she was in, like, a little bit of a drug coma.
Nah.
Because she just got out of fucking major surgery. Of course.
Really?
She
They
would
did
be, like,
surgery already?
coming out. Yeah. At this point, varying degrees of her arm were removed.
Well, sure.
Billy
But
Ray
that doesn't
Cyrus had
mean-
already told us that she was able to hold on to, like, a decent part of her limb. You know, or some
Right,
shit.
but her whole fucking arm is there except for her hand.
Yeah.
Settle down, Billy Ray.
He oversold it.
We go back to Statue of Liberty where Finn's sister is, and with her daughter.
It's so ill-defined. Okay, so we didn't really talk about the fact that...
Also, I got a question. I'm sorry, real quick. I didn't think about this till just a second. He's from New York, which means his sister's from New York, which means why are they doing touristy shit in New York City in New York? Because that's where
Right.
they're from.
Fucking A. I didn't even think of that.
I
Which
mean-
I had an ill feeling around that entire plot line.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why. And I think you just spelled it the fuck out.
Here's the thing. I get doing touristy shit, even if you live in that city. That's cool. That's fine. But you are waiting for your brother to come into town. Like, this isn't the time to do touristy shit on your own. You wait till your brother gets into town, or you wait till they're not in town. This makes no sense. Why the fuck are they doing touristy shit right now?
Why are these dudes going to the Mets game?
Yeah.
And
I have that question about any
why
game
are
ever, but go
the
ahead.
ladies going to Ellis
Because
Island? I mean,
ladies don't
they're
like
taking it,
sports, and
Yeah.
boys do.
except for Vivica A. Fox, who's at the goddamn
Well,
baseball
that's
game.
because she's fucking awesome.
But also, like, there was a whole scene with them going into the baseball game where, like, Finn's sister, Kari Ward,
I don't remember her.
and
character's
Mark
name.
McGrath.
Oh God, I fucking hate him.
Okay, can we just say that there are no two more California dudes than Mark McGrath and Ian Ziering, and somehow
not in a
they're
good
being played
way.
as New Yorkers?
Thank you,
Why?
thank you.
Why?
I have no answers for you. I don't know.
Yeah, so they're standing around outside the baseball stadium. Kari Wur, we'll figure it out,
No, we won't. Go ahead.
says to Mark McGrath,
Mm-hmm.
also don't know his name,
No idea.
brother-in-law,
Mhm.
sister and brother-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
have a whole conversation about keeping their phones on.
Yes, they fucking do. And he's like, oh my God, this angered me to no end because they split up. They get to the boys get to the baseball game.
And then Weird Son is like,
you
but
said,
Dad.
no work for you. And he's like, okay, I'll turn my phone off forever.
Yeah.
What? No, that you just put it in your pocket, you fucking idiot. What?
And the entire mood in New York is like, it's snowing in July. Forget about it. So I know that Jen is a native New Yorker. She talked about the smell of garbage in the air there.
Who's Jen?
Jen, my ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I thought
Should've
we were talking about the
clarified.
movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No. Jen, my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
She had spoke frequently about the stench of garbage
Yes.
in New York
Mm-hmm.
in the summer,
Yes.
which July is the summer.
Yeah. Yes, you are correct.
You would think New Yorkers would be happy that maybe the cool air
Dude.
was chilling
Nobody likes unexpected snow. No, I'm gonna have to push back on this. No.
Some people from Buffalo, New York think it's pretty.
Pretty for like an hour, and then it turns into sludge, and it's disgusting.
That's because we live in Chicago, and that's the reality here.
True and true.
Yeah.
Finn's sister and her daughter. I don't have any idea what either of their names are.
No, do they have names?
Mm,
Are they given names?
Shrug. I have no idea.
Asylum.
Come on, people. They are looking out at the waters, and there's sharks all like swimming all over, and they're like, since when have there been sharks in Manhattan? Girls, this is a Sharknado.
Their
That's
uncle defeated the first Sharknado,
Come on.
and they're not suspicious.
Oh, also earlier, he was like, I gotta find my sister and brother-in-law and crap. How do I do that? They're at the ball game. I don't have a ticket, which is hilarious to me. Like, you couldn't figure out a way to get them without a ticket.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm not a baseball fan,
Yeah.
but if there's one thing I know,
Mm-hmm.
the Mets suck.
I totally agree with both points. I don't know anything about anything, but they suck.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they are just a terrible team.
They've got a big
Nobody
apple.
is nearly as excited about the Mets as people appear to be in this movie. I might be wrong. I mean,
Well-
Mets fans, come at me.
Yes, come at him. I mean, you can come at me. I don't give a shit. But
Neither do I. Fantastic.
But April's like, oh, wait, they gave me a ticket. And that made me laugh because it's like, who fucking gives a shit about how you get in? Like, this is so stupid. He jumps in a cab, and his taxi driver, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, is Judd Hirsch.
Oh my God, I love it.
You just turned on the lights.
I totally did. And it was apropos.
It was. You were like, idea.
Also, Judge Hirsch. Fucking A. And he's driving a goddamn taxi.
Oh,
the
my
most
God.
self-referential thing he could possibly fucking do.
Absolutely. And he was fucking fantastic. And I loved him and his character, even though it was stupid. I loved it.
He was so goddamn good.
Yeah, he was.
He was just working off the cuff, I think, a
Oh,
lot.
absolutely.
He's
Completely
yeah,
improvised.
okay, I'm gonna improvise all these lines.
Mm-hmm. Loved it. No notes.
Delivered.
Yes.
Yes, that guy worked for his fucking 30 thou or whatever.
Hell yes, he did.
Yeah.
He drives them to whatever that park is that they play baseball at. And when he drops them off, it's fully empty. Like, there's no cars anywhere. There's no people walking in or out. There is nothing going on at this park.
Like a typical day at Met Stadium.
Oh, he said it. I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I. And again, as a native New York Stater, I've never been to New York City, and I only know the tropes.
That we've all seen on sitcoms.
Yes, and the
Deal.
Mets suck.
So we get to his brother-in-law, his son, and their friend Judah Friedlander and Vivica A. Fox. And I don't know the relationship to any of these people because it doesn't matter. They're just people.
Apparently, they grew up together. I was really confused by this, too. I had the exact same questions that you do about it. Judah Friedlander is all of him without what makes it him. So they really just dwindle him down to the lowest common denominator of Judah Friedlander.
Yes. No, his character fucking sucked,
He's a
and I
dick.
hated it. Yes.
He's condescending as fuck to literally fucking everybody.
Yep.
And he's not funny while doing it.
Nope.
Because he's delivering lines like, bummer, dude.
Yep. No, I love Judah Friedlander.
Yeah.
I hated his character.
Oh, he was the worst.
The fucking worst.
It's like his character was written by the most negative Ninja Turtle writer of all time. He could only say shitty things and only deliver lines like "bummer, dude."
Yes, I get it. You take a role because goddamn, this is gonna be a good role for you. It's gonna be a big role for you. It's Sharknado 2. You're gonna get paid.
You're on 30 Rock.
Do it.
Yeah.
Fucking do it. Still hated your character.
Yeah. No, he was the worst. He was a dick, and he had no substance whatsoever.
Nope.
And there's no reason to root for this guy at all.
No, and
All
nobody
he did
did.
was fucking like poke people.
Yes, he was
Which is-
a poker. We did not talk about the fact that Carl's bestie is Peppa.
Yes.
What?
Fucking Peppa.
What?
I had to, you know what? I paused the movie at some point on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it showed me the name Peppa.
And
I was like, as in
yeah, absolutely.
salt and pepper.
Frequently paused just to see who the fuck was in this scene, because every scene was like, I know this is somebody. Who the fuck is that?
Exactly.
90% of the cameos seem to be from MTV's 90s era.
Oh, here's another thing we didn't fucking talk about.
What's that?
The naked cowboy being the fucking ass shot of the first scene in New York. Yeah, no, it's full ass shot.
Full
naked
brief
cowboy.
shot.
And my note was the naked cowboy will do anything for a paycheck.
I mean, you're not fucking wrong. Is he still around? Is he alive?
I mean, I think so. I think he's the most famous grifter of all time.
I don't know if you can say that because there are so many mega churches out there.
True. Wow.
I
I mean,
don't
like,
want to get political, but
I'm trying to keep it OG with grifting. I think after a time you're a scammer and you're no longer a grifter.
For sure.
You've abandoned your hobo roots or whatever.
Your guitar playing, brief wearing roots. I get it.
I mean, he's a man with talent. Yeah, he's got money from Fox News. He knows what he's doing.
Does he? Was he on Fox News?
I think so. For some reason.
You have no
Maybe
idea.
after 9/11. Let's talk to the most American person in New York City. It's gonna be the fucking naked cowboy. He represents New York and Texas. Come on. Like, naked cowboy knows his fucking demographic, and he's there for fucking Southerners to feel comfortable coming to New York City.
In specifically Times Square and nowhere else.
Yeah, in underwear.
Yes. Come on. Yes.
We all know that people from Texas, they're super secure with their masculinity.
Yep. That's why they make laws about stuff that has nothing to do with them. I get it. It makes total sense now.
Finn doesn't give a fuck about Sky. Runs to warn the guys and doesn't tell her shit.
Okay, yes. I fucking hated this. He like runs into her and in the ballpark and he's like, "What is that? Huh? What is that you, Sky?" It was like the weirdest, like, dude, just say hi.
And she's like, "I got something I want to give you."
And I was hoping so fucking hard it would be a punch in the face because that would have been classic.
That would have made the movie
so
that much
good.
better.
Yeah, but no.
She was just like, "I'm gonna lay one on you."
Like, we're adults. You don't think he's attached to anyone? Like,
and also she hung on to him since they were 18. They graduated from high school, right?
I was like, what graduation are you talking? Are you talking about high school? Because that's a really fucking long time ago.
Yeah.
No, just fucking move on at this point.
But here's what we were talking about. Jude Freelander being a dick.
Yeah.
And so he's at the fucking concession stand.
Yes.
Because he's like, "No, this rain delay is going to blow over." And the commentators are like, "We're going to delay the game. We're going to cancel the game." And he's like, "Why? We're winning." He goes to the concession stand at some point and talks to a baseball legend, Richard Kind.
Yes, who is great, but ugh.
You know, one thing that I wish about this movie is that some of these characters would have paid off a little bit more in the end.
Yes.
Because Richard Kind has his moment as a washed up baseball player and then coach.
Yes.
And Jude Freelander is just constantly being shitty.
Yes.
And he's like, "Wow, you really fucked that up, didn't you?"
Dude.
And when he's like, "I just wanted to hit one home run for my dad, and then my dad died.
Yeah.
And I didn't fucking hit a home run for him." And Judah's like, "Bummer, dude. He's fucking like the worst Michelangelo." Painting the worst New Yorker that you've ever heard with a little bit of fleshing out. This could have been the next Jaws. Yeah.
So the sharks are There's a full-on Sharknado specifically inside this park. All of our heroes are running to the subway, or the train rather. There's a shot of everyone like, oh my, everyone's screaming the entire time they're running to the train. Everyone in the whole entire world. And it's intense and but the shots, the visual shots, show all of the children that are running behind him are having the most fun. They're having a great time. They're smiling and laughing.
They don't know what sharks mean. Like, they've only looked at them in school books. They're like, sharks.
That's crazy. I wish it was dinosaurs, though.
I know. Kids love dinosaurs. I mean, sharks are like a descendant of dinosaurs. I think,
yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
So, like, it's no wonder that they would have a ball with it. Before we get to the subway, let's talk about the fact that on the way out of the ballpark, they all stop at the merch stand to grab weapons. It's important.
Which they almost immediately just disregard. Judah has this amazing, huge, giant bat that he stole that he holds on to, and it's unnecessary.
And the kid, the son,
does he like grab a mini
grabs
bat?
The smallest bat. Like, you could whack somebody in the nuts with it and they wouldn't feel anything.
Absolutely. Sky, she grabbed a bat and broke it in half over her thigh.
Yes. And then Ian Ziering, Finn.
Yeah, he's like, damn.
Yeah, he gave a look like, I want to fuck that.
I mean, because, hello, he was married to Tara Reid and he's looking at a prime woman now.
Yes. He is looking at a real piece of fucking womanhood.
Yes.
But I'm curious as to why she broke the bat over her leg.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes zero sense
and also
whatsoever.
It had to have been
It does
really
not
difficult.
make two more dangerous weapons.
Especially when you throw one of them away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you stab a shark, it's not as bad as blunt trauma. I'm just guessing.
I have no idea. We go back to Kariwar and her buddies Peppa and another woman whose name I did not catch.
Not Fran Drescher. I for a second I thought it was, and I was really bummed out immediately.
Right. And they're like looking over the rails, and all of a sudden a shark comes and envelops not Fran Drescher's face. And they're like, just, oh my God, and looking at her, like getting her face eaten off. And then the shark falls off it, or they kick it off. I don't remember, but not bad. Like, her face is still intact. Not fucking bad.
It continues the streak of head-eating sharks.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I felt like the first, were we at the 15-minute mark here?
Maybe.
I feel like there were so many shark-to-head moments. But you're right.
That's what the people want.
She did not look bad after having half her face torn off.
She did die almost immediately because it hurt or something. But it was fine.
Yet Two-Face exists in Batman things. So, like... yeah.
No, it was weird because she still had her face there, but also one part of her face was weird and gelatinous and kind of stretched out. But she still had her face. Like I expected her full face to be eaten off, but it was fine.
I mean, we couldn't tell from our angle that the shark was preferring one side of her face.
Right. Do the sharks have tongues? Is it like a tongue situation?
The shark did.
Oh, what? Okay, so we're getting weather news. There's so many weather breaks in this movie.
Tons.
They love to show weather graphics with sharks in the weather graphics, which I fully appreciated.
I loved it.
Yes.
I watched the Today Show a lot around this time.
Yeah.
There were feelings while watching this, seeing Matt Lauer.
Oh my God. I totally forgot about the whole Matt Lauer thing. And then I saw Matt Lauer and I was like, ew.
Why don't you just go in your fucking office, dude, and hit the button?
Get your Mr. Burns trap door going. What the
fuck?
Fuck?
Grab an intern.
Ugh.
Yeah, gross.
Totally gross.
Disgusting dude.
So gross.
But he's charming as fuck, and I forgot about that.
I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah. So, like, watching him and Al Roker pal around, like, especially the first time was very shocking. But That said, El Roker led some serious levity to the whole situation time and time again.
I mean, that's what he does, yeah.
I enjoyed the interplay where, like, El Roker was like, it's a Sharknado, and Matt Lauer just wouldn't say it.
No, he was like, it's a shark tornado.
Yeah.
And Roker's like, no.
It's like, it's a shark weathered pattern. Come on, give it a break, buddy.
Come on, dude. Just say it. Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah.
Say it. Say it. Shark.
I think that Matt Lauer had negotiated his contract, so he'd only have to say it once.
You know what? I'm not going to fight that because that sounds right. They go back to the subway. They're on the train now, and there's a guy playing guitar, like acoustic guitar, and he's playing a song where the chorus is Weatherman Says. Was that a Velvet Underground like parody?
My thought was that it reminded me of that Jim Carroll song that was in the Basketball Diaries, the like "All My Friends Are Dead" song.
Okay.
Where it's like got 30 verses
right.
and they're
it's just all
kind of
names.
the same. Yeah.
I thought it was
because I felt like it played for 10 minutes in the background.
It fucking totally did.
It was probably only like 2.
Yeah, but it felt like fucking half the movie.
So it sounded like Jonathan Richman.
Yes. We cut to some like blue collar dudes working in the trenches of crap, and one of the guys like he's on his CB or whatever. He's like, oh, this guy I'm working with, he was afraid that there was an alligator. He's like, shut up, I didn't think there was an alligator. But guess what? There's an alligator.
There's a fucking New York alligator
Yeah.
in the fucking sewer where the Ninja Turtles live.
But it's okay because the shark is going to eat the alligator. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, what a fucking wonderful sequence of events. Like, I love that. Like, they were the most New York fucking dudes in the whole goddamn fucking movie.
World.
And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's like, hey, forget about it. Fucking, you thought you saw an alligator. It was a fucking alligator.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, what a turn of events. Dude was right. Because my first instinct was that it was just going to be a shark.
Sure.
But
absolutely.
they give you the fucking alligator.
They give you the fucking alligator, and it's not just like, oh, there's not. It's like he's gonna run from the alligator.
You know,
he's
that's
afraid of this alligator.
Yeah,
This alligator? Don't worry about this alligator. This alligator's getting eaten.
that was his shark with the scar on the eye.
That was his Moby Dick. Yes,
It was definitely. He was like, "No, man." You know, he'd seen that alligator 10 years prior when he was a rookie. But you know, old dude's like,
okay, dude.
yeah,
Alligator.
yeah.
All right.
He called him way worse than whatever the dialogue in the movie was.
Like what? I'm not familiar.
He didn't even call him a pansy. You know, like he didn't even call him a forget about.
Like a pussy? Is that what he called it?
You know, something like that. Like some real New York dialogue.
Oh, wink, wink, real nice.
Yeah, like, you
got
know,
it.
some real racist fucking homophobic shit. That you
okay,
just like,
okay,
you know,
okay,
people say in
got it.
passing in New York.
Yeah, it's just a breath of fresh air of everything
Yeah.
that they say. I get it.
You know, they were progressive sewer workers, so that's cool. Good for them. Like,
Maybe
happy
they're
for that.
married. Maybe they're in a relationship together.
Aw.
Isn't that a nice little ad?
Oh, that makes me rethink the whole dynamic between them.
They were just like,
That was just their witty banter. They're playful.
it's how they flirt.
Yeah,
It's fun.
a little
I
bit,
like it.
little bit of sewer sex talk.
Okay. Anyway, so then we get to the subway platform, and it's Jared from Subway and Perez Hilton. Jared from Subway's friend is eating something, and he was like, "It wouldn't be like that if you ate at Subway," or some bullshit. I was like,
Yeah,
you know what? You look at little kids. Shut up.
gross. I never wanted to see that man again in my life.
Like,
And to see him
regardless-
shilling Subway on the subway
Gross.
in Sharknado, I felt disgusted
No, thank
because
you.
we already had Matt Lauer, and I had to relive all that.
Why are men the fucking worst? That's a question aimed right at you, Dustin. Why are men the fucking worst?
I can only speak for myself here,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it's definitely because of rap music.
accept that, but I'm going to continue.
And David Lee Roth.
I don't accept that either. Those are bad answers.
I know they are because they're so layered.
I don't know.
Okay. So we're in the subway, right?
We're in the subway, and people are waiting for the subway. And since that guy got eaten by a shark or an alligator, I don't remember, the subway is getting flooded. Everyone's like, oh, no, look, it might happen. I don't know.
Okay, so why was the instinct to go to the subway when massive flooding was happening?
Dude, I don't... At some point, they were like, no, if anyone's got this taken care of, it's New York City subways. And also, no.
This whole movie starts to get pretty New York City tough at some point.
Yes.
But this is not it.
No.
People aren't using their goddamn heads. And I would think that anybody that lives in a city with a subway
would be like,
with
hey,
mass flooding would be like,
maybe that's not a great idea.
You'd think, like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm not going. The CTA is going to be backed up for miles because the whole downtown area is flooded.
Right.
And we have 3 colliding tornadoes, Sharknadoes.
Oh my God, these fucking Sharknadoes. Like, they didn't even need the Sharknadoes for this movie to be a clusterfuck.
No. Well, they at some point explain that there are 3 different tornadoes coming in, and I think only one of them is an actual Sharknado.
Right.
But there's also like a seafood nado or something.
Yes. Where there's a great scene where an octopus gets shoved up against a window and then just like creeps down, like slides down. Like... We're in the subway. It's getting flooded. Judah is trying to hit sharks with his giant baseball bat and he dies, and I'm not mad about it.
No, absolutely not.
That happened, and it's
also,
fine.
His friends must not have liked him very much.
No, because they were just like, oh, that looked like it hurt. Let's go.
It set a precedent for not mourning anybody in the fucking movie.
100%. They're all running, and Finn's like, no, I gotta kill some more sharks or something. And they all get off, and they're like, oh, no, we don't know if he got off. He didn't get off.
He literally walked around the corner and was like, yeah, I'm right here, guys.
What's up? And he goes up the stairs.
I hate the subway. Or whatever. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Girl, who doesn't? And so he starts walking up the stairs, and they're like, you gotta, and he had like a little baby shark on his hip. And he's like, that's gonna hurt tomorrow.
I mean, that baby shark was kind of adorable.
I mean, I would totally keep that shark because...
That little guy, I was like, you didn't need to be so cold-hearted. He's just a little guy trying to make it in the world.
Right. He doesn't know any better. He's just
he didn't
trying
know
to
he was going
survive.
to be in a Sharknado.
He was just swimming around.
Sweet little guy.
Not fair.
Yeah, Finn was a dick to him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were all just like, ooh, what's that gross thing? It's a baby. That's
this is where this episode turns into a PETA.
A pro-life.
Yeah, a PETA PSA. PETA and pro-life. Pro-Lita.
This next scene, it has like a homeless dude who I think is a writer for Howard Stern. I think that's who he was. Who was like, it's the end of the world. Like, blah.
Yes.
Fancy Wall Street guy is like, why don't you get a job or whatever? Of course, I had to see who that was, and that was...
Same.
Is a guy from Shark Tank.
Damon John, and he was from the show Shark Tank.
Yes. And you could tell that because he was Wall Street dude.
Chef's kiss.
Oh my God. I thought he was just like going to be like, get a job, homeless dude. But they kept going with that guy. And he's like, hey, Carwer and your daughter, follow me. I'm going to save you guys.
It's like, hey, hot middle-aged women, come back to my office. It's super safe there.
Wait, oh no, I dropped my briefcase and it's full of money probably, or business things. I better go get it.
Business things that are money.
And they're like, come on, leave it. And he's like, no, I need my money.
It was the Statue of Liberty's goddamn fucking head.
That's where we are.
Yes.
The fucking head of the Statue of Liberty.
This is kind of like the greatest scene ever, but like the way it played out made zero fucking sense. So the Statue of Liberty's head gets carved off of the Statue of Liberty by the Sharknado.
Yeah,
it
sure.
lands in the middle of the street and fucking hits him.
Yeah.
And the ladies start doing a light jog away from...
Down the middle of the street where the head is rolling. Like, don't go on the sidewalk. Don't go in the alleys. Just keep going down that street where that head is going.
They don't even show that the head is rolling after them for like 2 more scenes. They do like 2 cuts before you see the head actually rolling behind them. And they don't veer course.
Nope.
Instead, we come upon a couple of garbage men. One that finds a bowling ball.
This scene talked way too much about fucking bowling. And it is specifically because that head was going to be rolling down the streets soon.
But it never even paid off with somebody trying to throw the bowling ball at the goddamn fucking head.
Because you know why? Because that guy's head got knocked off by a head of the Statue of Liberty.
True. Just another fucking headless dude in Sharknado 2.
Who needs heads? I mean...
Headless guy number 60 at this point.
Right.
At least he didn't get his head taken off by a shark. So, like, the ladies climb in their garbage truck for some reason.
Yeah.
And they start driving away. And then the other garbage man hops on the back and he gets his back hacked off by the blades of the crown of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, no, it was nonsensical. Like, nobody has any sense in a tragedy, / emergency. I don't know. Everyone's a fucking idiot is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. This might be my second favorite kill of the movie. I've got my favorite saved up.
Good.
I fucking loved this death of the garbage man. It was outside of the box for this movie.
Yeah, because it wasn't a shark.
It wasn't a shark.
It was crowns to the back.
Yes. The crown of the Statue of Liberty rolling into the back of the garbage man and just
wild.
like cutting the fuck out of him. Not touching the truck somehow. No. And the fact that they finally evaded the head of the Statue of Liberty by crashing into a light pole was like, duh, drive off the fucking road.
Dude, like, what the fuck? Them crashing should have been their death. A, they should have been wounded by that crash, and B, they should have been crushed by that head. But no.
All of them came out perfectly airbrushed.
As per usual, yes.
I mean, much like Tara Reid in the opening sequence. I mean, perfectly might be a stretch.
Yeah, I think that's a stretch. So we go back to the hospital, and Terry's like, I gotta get out of here. She has already said, you know what, Finn, you go do your shit. That's fine. And now she's like, I gotta save Finn because I am apparently capable of that. But guess who the nurse is? Do you know who the nurse is?
I don't. And I was trying to place her because she looked familiar.
I heard her voice and I was like, I know exactly who that fucking is.
Oh, shit.
So I looked it up and it's fucking Downtown Julie Brown.
Holy motherfuck.
This movie is all about...
MTV Dance Party?
Yes, all about 90s MTV. All
Dude.
about it. And I am here for it.
Absolutely. I watched that show after school every day and wished I was some
dancing
kid in the crowd.
But now we get back to the cab. Judd Hirsch has somehow found them again and outside of the subway, and he's driving them and they're trying to find weapons. And he's like, I know what you need to do. You need to go to Times Square. And here's what I have a question about. Is this the first time that Judd Hirsch has been into Times Square in the past 20 years? Because that place has been nothing but an Applebee's and a Disney store for the past 20, 30 years. Like, what the fuck? No one's finding weapons in Times Square.
Okay, so the reason why I've never been to New York City is because the New York City that I romanticized died a long time ago.
Absolutely.
So I can understand why a native New Yorker like Judd Hirsch, a.k.a. Ben the cab driver, would romanticize or like rue on the fact that you couldn't get that there. Maybe at one time you could.
Okay.
You could get anything in Times Square.
Okay, sure.
Back when it was porn and kung fu.
Absolutely, 100%. However, we are in an emergency situation. Could you maybe not be nostalgic for a minute and take us to an actual hardware store? Because this is dire straits.
The reason why he does that is because, and I'm going to speak as a professional here.
Oh, absolutely. Please do.
Is because he knows that Finn is a native New Yorker and he stands out hard on Finn from moment one. So he's like, hey, Finn, you're a native New Yorker. So am I. Let's have this little bonding moment, buddy, because I'm going to tell all my friends that I'm best friends with Finn.
Sure. I mean,
I helped us all through this goddamn Sharknado. Yeah, there's a bit of a fanboying aspect to his character, and I think that it ties heavily into all of these little off-the-cuff moments where
Yes.
he takes it a bit too far and does not consider anybody's safety.
Dustin, do you know what's coming up right now?
Oh my God.
This is the sole reason that I wanted you to do this movie.
Oh.
And I'm going to play the entire scene for everyone and probably cut it short, but still play the entire scene for you right now. Are you ready?
Yes, because I want to relive every moment.
Vinny! Sorry, we're closing.
I'm just looking for Vinny. Is he around?
Yo, Vinny, you got a visitor!
Well, look who's back from La La Land. Just in time for the end of the world.
What's happening, Vinny?
What are you doing here on a day like this? Don't you see what the storm has done to the city?
I'm hoping you can help me out with some emergency supplies. Those propane tanks you had from all the summer barbecues, you still got them?
Do you got a screw loose? Don't you see it's dangerous out there? I'll give you a slice of pie. You're safer in here than out there. Take whatever you want. Take it. Just take it.
You know, I stopped here on my first day with April. I owe you one.
Forget about it.
Okay. So first of all, that song slaps, whatever it is. There's a riff in there that kind of sounds like Highway to Hell like, at some point.
100%.
Yeah.
The late, great Biz Markie. So excited to watch the scene. It's like worth the whole fucking movie. I love him so much.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nope.
Ever.
I love that he plays obviously a role that was meant to be an old Italian dude.
Yes.
Love it
1000%.
so much.
I gotta say, hearing just the audio and not watching it, it sounded like Biz gave more of a fuck than he did. But like, he had such a deadpan expression through his entire fucking sequence. I was like, did they keep him on set for 12 hours to do this? Like, he seemed exhausted by the time he had to deliver his lines. But like, listening to them, it gives me a whole different perspective. Like, maybe his character was tired, but he was just the same old Biz.
There was a shark that fell through his roof, even though it's not a one-story building. He stabbed it. I mean, he took care of business.
I love this scene. The shark kill.
Fucking this scene was fucking amazing. Okay, aside from the fact that Finn asked about if he still has propane tanks from like 20 years previously from barbecues from 20 years. What? Okay, so I'm going to keep these propane tanks that I guess are still full and also bring them to my place of business that I opened years later after these barbecues. What the fuck are you talking about, Finn?
Also, he owns a whole goddamn restaurant.
Thank you.
Maybe he'd have a shitload more and maybe they'd be fresh.
Sure. But why are you talking to me about fucking barbecues? Shut the fuck up, Finn.
You know, they grew up in the hood together.
Mm.
You know, Finn did run the block.
Oh, okay. You're right. I'm sorry.
Biz Markie threw the barbecues, but Finn...
He invited the people to the barbecue. But how great is Biz Markie?
Oh, my God. If I could go on about the Biz forever, I would.
I mean...
It was maybe single-handedly the most heartbreaking COVID era death.
100%. I just want to know how that happened. Did they, not his death, did they write this role for an old Italian guy and then Biz Markie was like, that's cool, I can do that? Were they like, this is going to be hilarious. Let's make Biz Markie an old Italian dude and call him Vinny. It'll be fucking hilarious. And Biz Markie, being Biz Markie, was like, fuck yeah, let me do that. I want to believe it's that second one, but it really seems like a leftover role that they needed to give to somebody.
Yeah, I think they probably shot for De Niro and got Biz Markie.
De Niro was like, I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah. Shark what? You want me to say, huh? And they probably beat the piss out of whoever fucking delivered that news.
Absolutely. Now we go to the ladies. They're like, oh, here's some city bikes, which made me realize City Bank was fucking everywhere in this movie.
Yes, absolutely. And the idea of city bikes, I know, has been big in some cities. So it seemed like an even bigger commercial than Subway. You know, it was like, this is a city initiative. You know, we're going to let you film in New York. Oh. You're going to put city bikes in that motherfucker.
Oh.
And
these aren't Blue Cross Blue Shield bikes.
Take that, stockholders. What are we doing to promote city bikes? You see the new Sharknado?
I mean, everyone loves Sharknado. It's a phenomenon. If you don't know Sharknado, you gotta find Sharknado.
By the second one, I mean, honestly, like, nobody did not know about Sharknado. I'm sure a lot have forgotten.
I mean, there's old people.
My mom does not know what a Sharknado is.
That's what I'm saying. But Citibank was like, we're hip, we're cool, get us in that shit.
Yeah.
And they can all go to hell.
I mean, to my mom's credit, she doesn't know what a non-binary person is either. So,
I don't mean your mom. Your mom doesn't need to go to hell. I'm just saying banks in general.
Hey, ignorance is bliss.
So now we go back to the hospital, and April's like, I'm escaping to save my husband because I'm somehow more capable than he is. And she finds this girl. She hears a girl like whimpering in a room. The sound this little girl was making the entirety of when she was in the scene was very unsettling, and I fucking hated it.
Maybe she's the most realistic actor in the whole movie.
Perhaps. That is very
possible. But she throws
possible.
off the vibe.
Anyway.
Unnecessary also. Like,
absolutely.
This whole sequence was so unnecessary.
Yes.
It just had to build April to a more heroic character.
Because she just took that kid to downtown Julie Brown. She's like, take her to the basement.
And she was about to take another half-hour break as a character, so...
Yep. And
give her a hot sec.
Please. And she was just like, take my hand. Which one? Oh, I'm sorry.
When they're running down the hallway, she was doing like a cross-hand shake with her the whole way while they were running. And I was like, why wouldn't they just put them on the other sides of each other?
Thank you.
Nobody in their right mind would be like, no, we're going to run like this, shaking hands the entire way. I'm going to reach across my belly.
Oh, my God. So this is where he established the whole city is being flooded. That's where I wonder, is this where the Batman got their whole idea? Have you seen the Batman?
Yes.
Is this where he got his idea?
Maybe.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Next.
I was hoping you'd expand on that. So
nope. So Finn and everybody are in Judd Hirsch's taxi again, or still. I don't remember.
It's their favorite fucking spot, man.
I mean, it's fucking awesome there.
Judd Hirsch is like the dopest dude in this movie. He is
absolutely, and
the
I
legitimate
fucking love him.
hero in this movie.
Yes. Didn't he play the dad in Independence Day, or am I thinking of something?
No, that was one of the Quaids.
No. I'm thinking.
Randy Quaid is who
Randy
I'm thinking
Quaid
of.
was in that movie, but
Randy Quaid should have been a Sharknado movie, but he went off the rails too hard.
And that's why I want him to be in a Sharknado movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now they're surrounded by sharks and a flooded street, and they're like, okay, we got to get to this other... I was honestly not paying attention. They're like, here's a rope, let's swing over here, and...
So the street flooded, right?
Yeah, it's full of sharks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you need to know. Like, it's that fucking easy. There's a Sharknado, street flooded.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving the cab.
Mm-hmm.
They're shit out of luck.
Right. End of story. But
exactly.
So
absolutely. Like, what else do you have to say? They're shit out of luck, and
no, that's
like
it.
we're not going to improv
that's
this
the
shit.
movie. Mark McGrath like swings over to a different car, ? I don't know. They swung over, and I have no idea what they were swunging to. I said swunging. That's right. I did
swunging. Yeah. They were swunging to safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because there were sharks between the cab and the next car over.
Right, but yes.
I don't really know how they got out
No.
of anything from there.
Okay, now you're on a different car. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah, it's not like
You're
the
not
streets
safer.
drained and then there were dead sharks everywhere, like
Thank you.
flapping in the sun.
Thank you. And so Mark McGrath gets over, and then Vivica A. Fox gets weird with his son. And it's like,
This was a callback to the first movie. She gave him a kiss for luck.
what is
Wasn't
that?
that what the brunette did to the son in the first Sharknado? She gave him a kiss for luck or some shit.
Maybe, but that was a little bit more age appropriate, and this was just weird.
It was weird.
It didn't seem like a callback. It seemed like, baby, I'll take care of you.
But I think it was a callback.
It's gross and weird. No, I think you're right, but I did not realize that till you said that.
I'm not saying that it's not weird.
No, for sure.
It's extremely weird. She is a 40-something-year-old woman.
And it's like a teenager.
Yeah, and she's like, for good luck.
Yeah.
But that's totally what the fucking surfer babe did, who got her shark leg bitten. Who got her leg bitten by a shark.
Yeah, same difference. They throw the rope back over to Ben and Finn, and Ben's like, I'm old, I don't know if I can do this. And Finn's like, nah, you got this, it's cool, it's fine. And he can't do this. Halfway through, like, jumping through, one of my favorite lines was, oh no.
Okay, so he revealed right before he jumped that he only had one real leg.
Yes.
He'd been hiding a prosthetic the whole time.
But then they're like, oh, that sucks. Anyway, Finn, come on. And he's like, I don't know what to do now. I don't have a rope. I'll Frogger this.
Not only do I not know what to do now, but Ben just bought it.
Dude, yeah, no, they're like, no, it's fine. He's just a taxi driver.
But what do I do?
I'm young and cool.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to Frogger this shit.
Frogger it. I said that to myself before he started jumping. Mark McGrath, he hollered it back.
Dude.
They were just like,
yes.
Frogger.
Dude, I hated
it. It could have been fucking Tetris. Like,
I would have appreciated Tetris. I hated Frogger.
Yeah.
I hated this whole thing that happened. I wanted to punch everyone in the face.
I bet you hated the punchline too.
Oh, what punchline? The punchline where Mark McGrath says, you know what you just did, don't you? You jumped the shark. Yeah, no, I hated that. I hated that a lot.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Too early to be so self-referential. Yes.
I hated it.
It should never happen. That should have been vetoed. They should have saved that for the third or fourth movie.
I agree.
Although I don't know what those movies look like.
I have no idea.
If they were able to elevate jumping the shark, then on that line alone, they should have held off.
I agree.
Because I think that's what this franchise of movies is trying to do.
I agree.
Is elevate jumping the shark and like taking it away from the shark.
Yes. Making the shark get a shitty job and hating their life and just like telemarketing and retail jobs for the rest of their lives.
You know what? Make the shark jump the shark. We're taking this back for human beings. It's like some white nationalist shit.
Yes.
Because again, like it's not like any black people live in this movie
what
or
the
like
fuck? Like they weren't even trying to hide that.
It's such a white supremacist movie. I mean, think about it. Great white shark.
Oh my god, you just blew my fucking mind.
We can go fully Art Bell with the rest of this if we want.
That's my favorite thing to do, but we should probably talk about the rest of this movie.
We can get through it. We can have a speculation episode afterwards.
Yes. I think that we might have to. This is going to be a 3-parter. At some point, Skye says to Finn, so what's so bad about being famous? And this is when I start to question, is Finn on some sort of Truman Show? Because everyone knows every conversation that he has with everyone.
Seriously.
He never said to Skye that he hated being famous. He said to April that he hated being famous. He thinks that.
She has no fucking idea.
No.
I mean, maybe neighborhood gossip.
No, bullshit.
Maybe Mark McGrath is like, yeah, Finn used to be cool. But ever since that Sharknado, he just can't fucking get over his fame, and he doesn't want it.
And that's when I was like, you know what? He needs to dump Tara Reid and fully go for Vivica A. Fox because she's the superior woman in this situation.
Absolutely.
He's just going for, like, they're already divorced. Who gives a shit? Go for Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean, talk about LA and living in La La Land.
Oh my God, right?
Finn is living in La La Land with April. Get with Sky now. ASAP for that WAP and that thickness. Man, get with that woman. She is a full ass woman and not the shell of a person that April is. I don't know if it's an after effect of the Sharknado in LA, but
no, she was like in the first one. She was just an idiot.
Vivica A. Fox is like a full fucking force of nature in this movie.
She was a full-formed human being.
Yes, she was earning that asylum paycheck.
She knows what she's doing.
She acted. She acted when nobody else was asked to act.
Well done. I don't even know what building they're on, but Vivica A. Fox and Finn are like on the top of some skyscraper and they're holding bags of like supplies. And the bag that Vivica A. Fox is holding, did you catch this at all?
YOLO be us.
Yes. Because she went to the toy store and the toy store in Manhattan is apparently YOLO be us. Fuck you guys. I hate it.
That's real?
No, it is absolutely not. What are you talking about? No, it's not real.
You just presented it to me like it was real.
In this movie, it is real.
Also, if you just said to me, in this movie, Israel, I would be like, okay.
Okay, so it's real then? In real life? Cool. I get it.
Yes. Sure. YOLO be us. Or Toys R Us. But YOLO be us is that, I know she was going to a toy store. YOLO be us does not sound like a toy store.
Not at all.
It sounds like the 2014 equivalent of merry-go-round.
Yes, but it had the Toys R Us font, so it was obviously a toy store.
You know what it was. Also, she was like, I'm going to the toy store. Like, she made it very blatant that she was going to the fucking toy store.
I know what New Yorkers do.
It was literally written by Michelangelo of the Ninja Turtles. Of Ninja Turtles fame.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why Judah Freelander read so bad. He was like, I know you, bro. This is all you got to say. And he was like,
oh,
what?
I get it. This is bullshit. I got this. No problem.
Thanks, Ninja Turtle.
They're on the top of the skyscraper. She's got a giant slingshot from this fake toy store. They're going to slingshot bombs into the Sharknado a la the first movie.
They thought it would work.
It should have because it worked the first time.
Yeah.
But there was no snow the first time. She says to him, you sure this is going to work? And his response is, no audio, just shrug.
Yeah. Which is when you realize that Finn is full of absolute shit.
I don't feel good about this anymore.
This bomb is made of the little camper propane tanks that you can get at Home Depot. I know what those things look like. I've used them a billion times over. I don't know why you think
we get
two of them together would blow up an entire Sharknado.
It's got a flare on it, Dustin, so I think that you're glazing over the important parts.
I think you're glazing over the fact that a Sharknado is a goddamn Sharknado. And to think that two of these petty propane tanks, I mean, is that all it took in the first movie? Like, yeah. I didn't pay that much attention to the construction of the bomb in the first movie.
They very much talked about bombs a lot. They very much made the bombs out of propane tanks and flares, period, end of sentence.
My folly for missing it.
Yeah.
But my gain for picking up on it in this movie, because they didn't try once or twice. They tried like 5 times.
Yes, and
in the middle of it, Vivica A. Fox is slicing up fucking sharks with a goddamn sword.
Yes, and they're just throwing bombs into Manhattan. Like, regardless of Sharknadoes, if they miss, they are now terrorists, is what I'm saying. Am I wrong?
At the very least against the shark community, if not their own.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work regardless. Finn's sister and brother-in-law and nephew, niece, whatever, they are now all together and reunited in the lobby of the hotel that they're staying at. Also, The elevator doors are open, and all of a sudden there's a flood of water in. Why? What? No. Huh?
MVP,
Yeah.
the guy working behind the greeting desk or whatever, who just keeps doing his job
Yeah.
until there's water this far, like an inch away from him.
No, he did his job till he did. That's it. He
Yeah.
did now.
It's that work-life balance, you know, and he did not have it.
Vivica and Finn go down. Brother-in-law, sister go up the stairs. They're in the emergency staircase. They should be fine there. They should just stay there. The shark's coming down. Shark's coming up. Shark's coming down or on fire.
Sharks here, sharks there. Sharks everywhere.
And they're like, oh, we should go out this door. And it's locked. Finn trying to open a locked door. Do you not understand what locked means?
Okay, so we haven't talked too much about the contention between Mark McGrath and Finn.
Because I don't care.
But, like, it's really belabored. They kind of, I feel like, make peace at the beginning of the movie, but then they just delve back into their old bullshit. And this is the first time they come together in the entire movie, and it's like, give them the old 1-2. And this is after them talking about being basically fuckboys or something back in the day. Yeah, they're like, we're both dickheads to women. Why do you want me to marry your sister? Because you're a dickhead to women, just like me. Like, yeah, it was
We're the
fucking weird.
worst.
And so all of a sudden they're like the old 1-2, skimmaroo. So Mark McGrath says to Finn something like, "How about the old 1-2?" Mark McGrath runs down and flags down the shark. He's like,
oh my God.
he's like, hey, come fuck me. Come
fucking so stupid. And I wanted him to die so bad in this scene, but he did not.
I wished they both died.
I mean, especially Mark McGrath, but yes.
Yeah, because he's inconsequential to the rest of the movie. The entire movie. Mark McGrath does absolutely nothing but bitch about Finn and his expertise for getting out of Sharknadoes. And then in the clutch, he's like, oh, wait, you know a thing or two about Sharknadoes.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously he does. You
Simple
shut the fuck
fucking
up.
solution. Somebody knows more than you about a thing. Shut the fuck up and listen.
Thank you. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Don't. Walk down the stairs, keep walking, get eaten by a shark. I'm fine with that.
Because that shark wouldn't have been able to lunge up those stairs. That shark was actually in varying degrees of interest. I mean, there were times when they like flashed to the stairwell and there was nothing there except like a tail flap in the background.
Yeah.
It was swimming away.
It's a shark. It doesn't give a shit.
No.
It has no malice.
No blood.
It just wants to live. It just wants to survive.
Save the sharks, man.
It's
Save the sharks. Ride a McGrath.
the whole reason they're trying to do the skidamaru or whatever is to get the axe in the like fire thing. Finn gets the axe and Mark McGrath just like runs away immediately. Like, you are no help. You were like, hey, look at me, psych, and then leaves. Finn gets the axe and then he opens the door, fine, whatever. Then immediately throws the axe away.
Okay, I mentioned earlier that they discard so many goddamn weapons in this movie. It's fucking obscene. Mark McGrath is a New York pussy in that scene.
100%.
And every other one. But, like, let's just call him a New York pussy.
He was like, I got this. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Bye. No, you are bad at it.
They throw so many weapons away, though. What happened to those flamethrowers that the kid made?
They didn't show up till like the last scene. And then
where did they keep them the whole time?
No idea.
Shrug emoji.
Yep.
That's the entire theory behind writing this movie. Is like one big, well, how do we explain this? I don't know.
Ew.
So let's just keep going with that.
Don't worry about it.
It's also like
it's
the
fine.
New York shrug emoji.
Yes. They get out of this hotel and they're on the street now, I guess, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. And Tara Reid pulls up in a fire truck, and also why and how.
Who was driving her? How did she meet up with firemen at all?
Does she have a gun? Is she like...
Was she
kidnapping
running a
these
car
people?
wash somewhere?
Like, what is happening with this scene?
It was
what?
very bizarre.
They get out and she's like, "Oh, it's Sky. She still likes you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this right now. This is what we're doing right now."
This is when Finn was his most sensible in the entire movie. Because for real, I would say the exact same thing.
What did he say?
That's basically what he said. It was like, are we doing this right now? We got a whole Sharknado going on.
We're not even married anymore.
Yeah.
You stupid.
The shark at the beginning of the movie bit off your ring finger. And
therefore,
your entire
legally,
half arm.
we will never be married ever again because you have no ring finger.
I'm also going
sentence.
to throw out the shark bit off half of her arm.
When they show her arm, her hand is gone. That's it.
She had an elbow.
Yeah. Oh,
she had a full
100%.
forearm.
Yes, absolutely.
She had a wrapped hand. She had a wrapped hand. Sometimes it was in a sleeve, but like at the end of the
sleeve
fucking
was working
day,
hard.
Oh man, they were pushing the sleeve, especially early on when she was in the hospital. They were selling the sleeve.
Oh, so hard.
But by the end of the final chapters, she had no arm, according to the doctor, and then she had no hand, according to video footage.
Thank you. We need to get to the mayor, Robert Klein.
Okay, nobody's going to unseat the biz, but my second favorite cameo.
Kurt Angle?
Well, why would you think Kurt Angle?
Because you are a wrestling nerd.
You're goddamn right. And I forgot that he was in this movie. And I was so fucking happy. I was so happy to see Kurt Angle show up, and I was like, he's gonna break the Sharknado, and he's gonna pin him with a broken freaking neck.
He's like, "No, you're gonna do that? Okay, cool. Go over there."
Oh my god,
the worst.
I mean, he phoned it in, and god, he definitely had like a thing with his speech that I wasn't familiar with in his wrestling career. I don't know if it was just like when they caught him, or maybe he was like, he might have been on some painkillers around that time.
That's fair.
Towards the end of his actual wrestling career, when he was in Impact Wrestling, or TNA as it was called, same difference, TNA Impact.
That's like sounds like Jiggle stuff.
Very much.
Okay,
I'm not saying it was right. they were gunning for an audience, but he had some of his best matches while on the most painkillers.
Oh
yeah, like shit where like they threw each other down like flights of stairs.
Oh, and how else are you gonna do it?
I mean, like they went full brutal.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle did not come out necessarily okay.
Ooh, how can you?
Eventually, he got off of all of the things, made a triumphant return to WWE, where he couldn't wrestle anymore because all of his muscles were like super atrophied and like horrible. But he wasn't slurry.
Good for
so
him.
like in 2013, when they were filming the movie, they definitely had a certain Kurt Angle.
A very specific Kurt Angle.
I'm very happy that he became a better Kurt Angle after this movie.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It's good to hear, honestly. I'm not being sarcastic. So Finn is like, here's my plan. The Sharknadoes are way too cold for my explosions. Here's my plan. I'm gonna throw some Freon tanks into these Sharknadoes and not blow them up, but freeze them up, which sounds like fucking bullshit, but what do I know? I don't know shit about Sharknadoes. And then Robert Klein comes by and he's like, this is the other instance of him being in The Truman Show. How do you know about conversations that I've had in the past? Robert Klein comes up and he's like, thought you could use one of these. We didn't have to go to Jersey to get it. And he hands them a giant chainsaw. How do you know we were talking about Jersey and chainsaws and weapons? What are you talking about, Robert Klein?
Right. He is, first of all, cheers to Robert Klein.
Absolutely.
1000%.
Uh-huh.
But also, he referenced 3 conversations that happened earlier in the movie.
That he was not privy to. No.
Or he read fucking April's book.
I mean, that's possible.
I mean, he treated Finn like a New York celebrity.
Yes.
And he was like, welcome, returning hero. I know what you need. A chainsaw from the New York Fire Department.
I mean, who doesn't? Fair.
I mean, I'd fucking mount that above the fireplace.
So now Finn has to give this really stupid speech that I hate so much about how New Yorkers can do this and bleh, I don't care.
I think he improv'd it. It did not sound written. It was sloppy. It was poorly conceived. For a movie that had like delivered on a lot of levels, despite our nitpicking.
Yeah. No, it's 100% nitpicking. We're assholes.
We love
I get
this
it.
movie.
Love it so
love
hard.
it so much.
Yes.
To have him deliver such a lackluster speech, it was like, hey, look, there's sharks. We all hate sharks. They'll eat you. You don't want to get eaten.
But we're in New York. New York can't get eaten by sharks. We love New York. New Yorkers are tough.
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker. You're a New Yorker. It's New York. Do you guys like New York? I like New York. Sharks, New York. What?
It was like this movie was written after 9/11, but over a decade later. You know, they were like,
over.
We're just gonna try to keep that energy alive. In that time, we had Spider-Man movies where like it was big on New York that delivered on that level,
right?
And they were like, let's go for Spider-Man.
But first, I'm done with this speech, so I'm going to kneel, and I'm going to cut this shark in half.
The biggest callback to the first movie. And he nails it.
It was fan-fucking-tastic.
If there's one thing that Ian Ziering practiced during
oh my God,
the training that it must have taken to go into this movie.
Yes.
It was that scene.
It was
he knew how to
sharks
stick that landing.
And you know what? He did it.
Oh, man.
If the movie was just that for an hour and a half, I would not have any complaints.
If it completely sucked for the first half and we got to that, I would have been reinvested.
Yes.
If there's one thing to bring New York together and make it New York strong, it's Ian Ziering. Quintessential California boy. 90210 ass motherfucker. Kneeling down on the top of a New York Fire Department fire truck and sawing a shark in fucking half.
Put an American flag behind him, let it wave, and it's perfect. So he's up on another skyscraper. I'm not totally paying attention, so I don't know if it's multiple skyscrapers, and I don't care. They're having problems, like situation is not working out for them, and then we see two boots walking up, and I was like, I don't need to see any more. I know exactly that that's Tara Reid, and I know exactly that she has a table saw for her hand now. I saw that coming 100 miles away, and I'm not mad about it.
Well, there was like the flea market table saw thing that
what
happened.
Was that?
I was like,
she's
we've
like,
got these random things.
I'm going to need your help, nephew, that I've met once.
Yeah.
Give me a table saw
I'm lacking
hand.
a hand, which I kind of realized after the fact, but I was like, also, he's like the smart kid. So I was like, oh, she's asking him because he's a smart kid. And then I was like, realistically, she has one hand.
Right.
And she does not know how to maneuver as a human being yet.
No.
Although she's been doing a bang-up job.
And she's going to make this prosthetic of a table saw for a hand in a matter of 5 minutes?
God, if she had 5 minutes, that'd be shocking.
I know, right? It was quick. Good job for that dude who knows stuff.
Bless that kid. He saved the whole goddamn day. Like, the fact that he was, first of all, able to conceptualize the
intricacies.
The leading fluor squirt gun.
Yes, absolutely.
That did not get nearly enough play. It barely got a moment.
Oh my God, he just mentioned it and then they showed it an hour later.
They showed it as a vehicle to make him look smarter than his dad, which was smart. His dad's Mark McGrath.
Which isn't hard to show.
Yeah.
It
was also like 2013 or whatever when like Botox meant you can't move your face at all and it all looks weird. That was his Manhattan dad. And I'd be like, fuck you, dude, too.
That's totally fair.
I used to, serve people like that in retail, and I took them way less seriously. Modern day Botox has come a long way, and,
Can I move my eyebrow yet?
Oh, you look good. You've almost got a people's eyebrow. I know that's what you're gunning for on social media.
I just want it to arch a little bit more than I was able to at first.
Okay, so where are we?
Tara Reid walks up with her tables a hand, and they're like, oh no, a shark's coming at us. But some lady in motorcycle boots is coming, and she saws this. She doesn't even saw it in half. She doesn't even have like the capabilities to be like a badass and cut it in half. She just like wounds it. And they're like, hooray, thank you.
It's not like when Finn cut the entire shark in
No,
half.
because that was fucking dope as hell.
Yes. She saws it down the belly a bit.
I have issues. This cut that she did was her character in general. Milquetoast, I don't care. Like, she was just like, I guess, whatever. No, it's not fine. You are in the middle of like this murderous Sharknado. Try harder.
Oh, her demeanor was so diminished by this scene that her passionometer had reached its full capacity, and she was like, I give 0 fucks. And not like in a badass way, like in an I'm quitting my job with no safety net.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need unemployment. I just need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. You people are toxic, and I am leaving right now. That's how she cut that shark down its stomach tepidly.
I'm not gonna finish my reports for the month. I'm just leaving.
Yeah. I'm going to community college and getting my bachelor in
Communications.
What fucking ever. Like, get me out of Sharknado franchise history. I have a buzzsaw attached to my hand, which ironically is the thing that would get me to stick in the movie. If I could be a character with a fucking buzzsaw in my hand.
God. I would be in
Come
all the
on.
movies.
Right?
Come on.
You could pay me $100 to be that guy
Thank you.
for a lifetime.
Yes. Happily. With pride.
Yeah. How ungrateful are you, Tara Reid?
Thank you.
I know
Tara
that
Reid,
you were
what the fuck?
I know you were in the American Pie franchise prestigiously. But goddamn, don't look a gift horse in the fucking mouth. This is Second Life. Look at Ian Ziering having fun.
He's having the most
Judd
fun.
Hirsch is there. That guy is a fucking legend.
They are living their best lives, and you are just there.
What does she want?
She doesn't want. She just is existing.
She has no levity in her career, apparently.
No? Are you kidding me? No, of course not.
It's like I was watching the Pam and Tommy on Hulu. The woman that plays Pam Anderson is so good. She plays her without a fault, and like she is endearing. You know, you actually see like actual Pam Anderson in her. Oh, one of the first things you and I bonded on was VIP and shit. Like,
This is like the third time VIP has been brought up in this podcast. I fucking love VIP.
It's so good. Yeah, no, it's just a very, very well cast, well played show. Way more than I expected it to be.
That's what I keep hearing.
And that's how I still feel about Sharknado 2.
Oh, right. Sharknado 2. Anyway, at this point, we are doing Freon tanks and electricity.
There's a whole...
I checked out.
plan.
I have no idea what's going on.
All I know is that Vivica A. Fox could not hold her wires together. And whatever she did seemed like, at the end, she was like, okay, whatever. I got to get out of here.
The first time she tried it, she just daintily placed two wires together and was like, I hope this holds. I don't know.
There was no indication that was going to hold.
No, it didn't look like it. No.
She was like, I don't want to die.
I'm
holding
out.
These together.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And fair.
And
I would do the same.
So April saws the shark down the belly with her saw hand, and Finn is like, Sky, get April out of here.
And she's like, fuck you. We're doing this because we are capable women. Shut up. We don't need you to save us.
And then he's like,
but
Sky,
don't you?
Sky, hey, come holla. Get back here, girl.
He was like, wait, it's not working. Sky, get to work.
Your wire's fucked up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will go fix that for you now, sir.
I'm going to do the thing that's going to keep me outside to survive.
Dude, I don't understand how he survived. I don't understand how she survived while she was holding on to this. Because electricity happens. I don't understand.
They showed a full explosion happen in front of her body.
Yes.
From metal tanks.
Yes. And they were all like shaking from electricity going through their body. And it was just like, that's just what happens.
It was wild.
Yes.
I like trying to process, and I had to second guess myself when I was watching it the second time. I asked myself what I saw the first time I watched it, and I could not remember to save my life. I knew there was like I like blacked out, not because I was drunk or too high. It was just too much information to process at the time.
It was a lot because
it was a
everything happened in like 5 seconds, and they were all like being electrocuted, and then explosions, and then there was like weird screams of people falling and being exploded outside of this. I don't know what's happening, but people are in trouble, and you can see like fake cartoon bodies flying through the air. Vivica A. Fox, I was like, oh, she's alive. It's okay, it's fine.
Yeah, and then immediately bitten in half by a shark.
Because that's what movie we're watching.
It's not like we couldn't have been attached to her character. She was one of the most redeemable characters, if not the most.
I would say that I would have preferred if Tara Reid would have gotten eaten and cut in half, and then Vivica A. Fox had taken what role Tara Reid had taken later on.
Please.
That would have been the best movie that was ever made, I think.
All fucking day. Switch love interests.
Oh my God.
Have you not looked at Tara Reid's performance in the first 2 films?
Are you keeping her on because of her performance is so insane?
It's not like she's a bigger name than Vivica A. Fox.
You know what? That's it. You just solved it. Vivica A. Fox was like, yeah, I'll do it once, but fuck you guys after that.
I should fucking hope so.
I mean,
yeah.
That's
I mean,
her
like
right.
That is, if that didn't nail it on the head,
that's
then
her right
I feel
as an
bad
amazing
for Vivica
person.
A. Fox because she has a much bigger draw than
you think
a Tara motherfucking Reid.
And that's when we get introduced to the super soaker flamethrowers that the kid made. Hooray, that finally happened.
Where were they? Were they carrying a bag at any point? Nope.
No. And also all of a sudden every New Yorker in this little tiny block
pulls a goddamn weapon.
They all have fucking weapons.
It's the New York strong moment that we'd all been waiting for. You know what? We're all fucking New Yorkers. We all got shit in our trunks. And my favorite is the fucking gangsters that you don't necessarily know are gangsters, but they throw a blanket over and it's a fucking treasure trove of automatic weapons.
Full on armory.
Dude, it's like we got pitchforks. We got all the chainsaws in Manhattan in the back of one pickup.
And that guy, can we talk about that guy? He's starting up chainsaws and throwing them into the air.
Yes.
That's not safe.
You know what?
What?
New Yorkers know how to catch. You know what we know how to do? We know how to fucking catch. Even in Buffalo.
You know what? That's fair because it actually works. However, it is very irresponsible.
Unless there's sharks flying above you.
I mean, but
you might catch a couple on the way up.
You know what happens next? You know how there was an explosion and Finn got exploded off this building and he's just like flying through this Sharknado. Well, guess what happens? He somehow has chains now and he is riding a shark as if it is a horse and he's standing on top of this horse.
I'm not sure what he threw in the shark's mouth to rein it in.
No, I'm not either. I don't know how he has chains. I don't know a lot of things about this scene.
It does play into his history as a surfer, although I don't know how a shark surfing through the air is the same as a surfboard in the ocean.
To be fair, he did yell yeehaw. So it all kind of comes together.
So in the third Sharknado, does he reveal a history as a rodeo performer? Because I would love that. I mean, give me a movie where he has to ride horses against sharks.
I want every single movie to have him have a completely different background.
Please.
That would be ideal for me.
Finn fucking Sharknado, master of reality. You know, his reality.
He's a jack of all trades, and when I say all trades,
perception is reality. Yeah, his perception and ours is reality. So like, let's just let him have at it. Like, let him have a free for all on our reality.
You know what? I welcome that. I want him to have a free for all on my reality.
In a fucking franchise that is based on escapism, give me access to the Finn avatar.
You know what? That's all I want from life. Are you feeling me?
1000%. I think we just started the Church of Finn.
Yes.
I mean, we can use my old cat Shark Week as our god because she is the purest being I've ever known.
Yes, I totally approve of that. You know, once he's riding the shark, he lands it on a spike somehow.
Oh, man, you just rushed in.
No, I mean, I'm going for it.
I know. Well, it happened very quickly.
It did. And
I mean,
he just like impales this bitch that he's riding.
This movie happened so much faster than this podcast did.
Yes. But so he lands on the top of this
Some
shark.
kind of spire.
Yeah, and it's New York. And he lands and he jumps down and
Hey,
like...
it's a New York spire. Hey, it's a New York lightning rod.
What is it?
And
I don't know. It's in New York. Why? I mean, like, if it was like the fucking Sears Tower, I would get it. But
no.
what is that building? Is it the Empire State Building? I don't think so.
They're very vague about it, and they're like, it's a tall building. This should work. I don't...
Yeah.
But also, so exact. This is the exact same building that he blew off of. And it came back. And what fucking luck that he had.
It was the exact same building.
It
wasn't
was,
it?
because Tara
Fuck.
Reid was waiting for him.
She was, judging by her arrival in the fire truck and other shit. Like, she was just waiting for him wherever. Maybe she was only hired on for half the movie and they killed her character, but she kept showing up to the set.
She's like,
you
what,
know?
you guys need me yet?
She's like,
I mean,
I'm
I brought
running up in a fire
tacos.
truck. Start filming.
No, you're not here today, Tara. You need to fucking leave.
Put me in the scene or it's going to go viral. You know, like, I really think she kept herself in the fold while still being bland as fuck.
God damn it, Tara. Keep doing that.
I can't quit you, Tara.
Yeah, I can't. But
Right,
so
yeah.
he lands in this stupid ass top of someplace and
It
a
wasn't
shark
anything
comes-
real. It was designed on a computer after the fact.
Oh, you think?
And we have to remind ourselves of that. Maybe
No.
it's not trying to be anything important.
Mm.
Maybe it's just trying to be a shitty computer graphic.
No, that's fine. I'm all for
Oh,
Shakira graphics.
Oh, man. Is that a meme phase from the early 2000s that I missed out on?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I love Shakira phases, but he kills a shark. You know who the shark is? You'll never guess. It's the one that ate her arm at the beginning of the movie. Can you believe it?
And that's when he pulls out half of her goddamn arm. It is literally fucking elbow up. Like,
Wait, what's on her arm? What's attached to that arm?
The gun and the
What?
wedding ring.
Oh my God, so
the
many
one thing that can kill
things.
sharks and the one thing that can melt her heart.
I
The
hate
wedding
it.
ring and the gun.
I hate it so much. I just want to murder this scene so
But it's
hard.
brilliant. I
So-
love this scene. If there's one thing that's going to tie this movie in and make it wrapped up with a bow,
Was-
it is that arm.
And you know what? That arm was fucking disgusting. It looked like a real decomposed, disgusting arm. I hated it.
It had saggy knuckles.
It totally did. It was disgusting.
Yes. Also, it was a shade too
Light.
light for her,
Her
spray
fake tan.
tan and airbrush heavy makeup and like everything else that was going on there. Which, granted, it was sitting in a shark's belly for a couple of days,
It was
a day,
decomposing. It's
24 hours. Yeah, so I'll give it that.
Right, and also it was like a full day, and yet the Today Show was on for like 24 hours. Like, what the fuck is going on with the Today Show?
The
in this
longest
movie?
Today Show in history, and at some point around then, Matt Lauer was like, "We gotta sign off." I mean, in the ultimate scene of foreshadowing,
of real life.
he was like, "I am stabbing this shark, and now I gotta sign off."
And you know how this movie ends? Oh, you do, because you watched it with me. I forgot. We get something blows up a fireworks truck, and that makes fireworks go all over the city. Which
They've been teasing the fire truck for like
Yes.
the entire finale.
like,
like,
oh, don't,
Like,
don't pay attention
are
to
the
that.
fireworks gonna play into the murdering of the final sharks?
I wish.
Not at all.
It's
they were
that-
just there for shits and giggles.
No, it was all for funs.
Yeah.
It was like, you guys, look how fun this place is. I
You know
love
what
New
it was there
York.
for?
What?
A New York fucking firework display like nobody's ever fucking seen in their goddamn fucking life.
I mean, that sounds Boston, but that's fine.
I don't know. I didn't grow up in New York City. The Buffalo accent's different. I can only do what I heard from movies.
And you know what the movie ends on? It ends with Finn saying, I love New York.
You're wrong.
I am?
There's a post-credit scene.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't know?
What? No. Once the credits
my
roll,
God.
I'm like, goodbye. I'm done. Tell me. Holy shit! What?
shit.
You are blowing my mind. What?
It mirrors, and I don't know what came out first. I'm guessing the first Avengers movie. So in the first Avengers movie, the Avengers sit around and eat shawarma because it was like referenced earlier in the movie.
Right.
In the post-credit scene for Sharknado 2,
Yeah.
Finn sits
No,
and eats
don't do
a
it.
lonely slice of New York pizza, and not even Biz Marquee shows up.
What the fuck?
Right? I was so angry. I was viscerally angry because I waited around. I don't think I had any idea about it, but something told me they know they got a good thing going.
Right.
Give them a little bit at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it's literally just Ian Ziering, which might have been on a fucking iPhone.
I'm mad about everything you're saying right now.
The quality of film
Yes.
is not what it was in the movie.
It was
It's
just-
a little bit more fish-eyed. You can tell something's off. It was recorded on somebody's goddamn fucking iPhone.
Uh-huh.
And he just eats a fucking slice of pizza in front of the camera.
It
And
was
he
just-
looks kind of angry about it. And Biz Marquee's not there. And I would be fucking pissed if I went to eat a slice of pizza and thought the Biz Marquee would be there and then he's not.
Yes.
I fucking get it.
That's why I would be there, because you know the pizza's not that great. It's gonna be lukewarm.
It's also such a middle finger
Yes.
to the people that stuck around for the end credits.
Mm.
Because I fully expected Biz Marquee
Yes.
to be there in the end credits. Because if there's one motherfucker that's going to be there, it's going to be Biz motherfucking Marquee.
Yes.
He's going to like beatbox way better than I could ever in a million years. And just Biz all over the place.
That sounds gross.
No, that did sound gross. He's going to be Biz Marquee all over the place.
That's better.
Oh, man.
Hey, dude, do you have a better name for this movie? And I ask that knowing full well that Sharknado is absolutely the best name for these movies.
My favorite thing that I've come up with is Biz Sharkey meets Findango to do the tango.
Dang, that is extensive. Mine is Sharks Take Manhattan. Because again, Sharknado is a perfect name for these
Yes.
movies.
Nothing could have topped Sharknado.
Nothing beats the
And
biz.
Sharknado 2, the second one, it kind of implies like a reboot to the franchise in a way.
mhm.
Like, forget everything you learned in Sharknado.
Yes, and I agree with that assessment.
From going forward,
Yes.
Sharknado 2 is the new one.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's apt, and I can't wait to see what happens in the third.
I agree. Do you have a favorite quote from the movie?
My favorite quote of the movie is when Finn is initially in the cab with Judd Hirsch, and Judd Hirsch, or Ben, the cab driver,
Yeah.
only has one question for Finn.
What's that?
And his question is, what's the inside of a shark smell like? I think it's preceded by, I've only got one question. As a super fan, Finn, what's the inside of a shark smell like? And he's like, I always thought it would smell like chicken.
What? No,
But
I
then he
get the
follows it
joke,
up
but
with
what?
like, or salmon or cod.
Yes.
Or like he ruses on it a little bit. So I'm willing to bet that Judge Hirsch riffed on that.
for like an hour.
So he's like, I'm an actor. Like, let me riff on this. I'm gonna come up with some good shit. Don't serve me lines.
And Finn was like, "What?
Come on, you
No.
already put me inside of a taxi.
No, it's
How
gross.
demeaning.
No, stop
If
talking.
only there was a
No.
Dear John reference in there somewhere. Like, that's kind of my Judd Hirsch. You know?
Right. I mean, we're talking different decades.
I watched,
right?
Dear John repeats when I'd get home from school in high school, I mean, my buddy Chris would talk about him.
You know what? The one quote, and solely only, and it's not even the best quote of the movie, but because it was Biz Marquee, I'm going to say my favorite quote was, "Do you got a screw loose?" Because fair on every level.
I know.
If only he could show up as a hologram,
Oh my god. And what's stopping anybody from doing that?
or he might call it a hologritzy, gritzy, gritzy. I don't know. Maybe he
You
would.
might. You don't know.
Yeah.
Dustin, what do you got to promote?
Okay, so I am launching my Redbubble page, and I am launching it with a print that will be exclusively tied into this podcast, in that it will be Bismarcky fighting a shark
Fuck
in
yes.
fucking tribute to maybe the greatest made-for-TV movie ever, Sharknado 2, the second one.
Hands down.
I have no reservations about making this available to help promote this podcast because I fucking love it. And
Kisses.
I fucking love you, Tressa.
No, I love you.
It will be available on my Redbubble. You can find my Redbubble at my Instagram, which is TEEVEEI, letter I, _ art on Instagram. I will have my Redbubble up there. It's going to go live shortly before this podcast airs, and that print will debut on the same day that this podcast episode does.
Dope. And I will put all that information in the podcast notes so you don't have to type all that bullshit in.
I'm super excited to do it.
I'm
Do
so
anything I could
excited
do.
about it. It sounds amazing. Dustin, it was so good to have you here. It was so fun.
Oh my god, that was a fucking marathon.
That
of
was
a conversation.
I mean, you expect nothing less from a Sharknado
I'm
movie.
kind of drunk. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm wasted. It's fine.
Everything was an overload about this movie.
Yes.
And I'm happy that I slogged through it with you.
Ditto.
I will say,
Yes.
when you said that you were skeptical about the Sharknado movies,
Yes.
I was a little bit like, maybe you need to watch them.
You know what? You were right. I accept the fact that I was wrong about the Sharknado movies. They are amazing.
I'm happy to be a part of that turn of fate on your podcast.
You're welcome and thank you.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I will see you next week. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Dustin.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. How long was that?
Thanks for joining us this week on the Asylum Case Studies. Special thanks to Dustin Mertz and a very handsome and talented Andy Slater, our mixer and engineer extraordinaire. Make sure to visit us at asylumpod.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever, so you'll never miss a case study. While you're at it, if you found any bit of enjoyment in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Unless you are going to be a dick, then no thank you. So until next time, I'm Tressa Slater. And what's the inside of a shark smell like?